That's great. You know, and some people say that it's not necessary using one of those saws there. You could have done it with the grinder. You could have used a straight edge, but we know that using that track, it's going to be absolutely dead on. So I'm more than happy with that. There's nothing worse when you finish and you actually look at it and you think, oh my god, that's not good. It's not right. So what we have to do now is just reduce the height of this mortar, which I laid these yesterday. Maybe I shouldn't have laid them. I shouldn't have been cutting rather today because the mortar's only just been laid yesterday. But it's gone off pretty hard. Just reduce the level of this in readiness for, if that's such a word, for the picture frame. There we go. Get that down a little bit. Don't need to reduce it too much when you're on a small bed. You can see how hard that is. But we're going to reduce that now, like so. I hope you benefit from these videos where you can actually see me working. And I know that you're saying I'm on my knees again, and I am. I have a set of ruby knee pads in the van. I'll have to go get it. So just reduce that a little bit. Remember, we're going to put gravel down here, but this loose can come out after anyway, so we can take that out. Don't take it out now because it's going to support our picture frame. And in fact, it might be an idea to put some of the straight ones in here now. So we've got 1.2. It's going to come somewhere like that, hopefully with a bit of luck. Yeah, it will do. So we'll go halfway there, so our picture frame's going to go around that side, halfway to halfway. That should be 1.2. My calculations are right. There you are. That's enough. So I've cut this picture frame now. These are 1.2s. I think they work out. We had 5 cuts. Let me get down to see me on camera. We had 5 cuts out of one slab. So I think that's a real good cut. I'm really pleased with that. There's no fragmentation on this side. So what I'm going to do is just give it a bit of an edge. 1 second, bear with me. I've always got things on hand. So what we're going to do, we're just going to clean. If you look at the edge is pretty good on that side. I don't want to chip it. There you are. Just clean it off with this sort of polish and padding from Ruby. This is a 60, and that's just enough. I've used this quite a bit now, so I'll have to get another one out soon. And then on that side as well, just takes the edge off, give it a nice look, and it looks smart. Just do that there. I hate doing all that time lapse. Goes my head in sometimes. I'd rather show you as and when it's happening. There we go. The only thing is, it makes the videos a lot longer, and whether you can put up with me droning on. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Looking good. There we go. Nice and smooth, no sharp edges. Put that over there. Now what we're going to do, this is where our picture frame is going to come together on there. You can see that halfway, and then we're going to create an L-shaped picture frame going around. No miters. Miters are good, there's nothing wrong with that, and I've done them many times, but I just think it just offers a little bit more. So let's get on and get that one in now and get it bedded. get the third one. Good morning. Need a shave again, but let's have a look at the patio. Well, this is what we done yesterday. I say we because Ian was with me. Got that edge in there, got the picture frame in. So that's done. We've wrapped it round here now. We've got to do that corner. We've got to adjust that eco drain, which I picked up another one yesterday, and we've got to come around here. But then we've got two small pieces over there to complete. So look, there they are. One there and one there, and then this bottom patio is complete apart from the grouting. So what we've got here is some porcelain, and this porcelain is going to be the contrasting picture frame we're going to have to this patio. And if you look now, I occasionally don't do the miters. I like these owl shapes. It just looks as if there's been a little bit more work being put into the project when you're doing these owl shapes. It's very easy to do a 45, and it's simple, it's effective, it does work, but I just think this adds a little bit more value. Now, the only problem is that when you're cutting porcelain, you get the tension in the porcelain, which can be really problematic, and you're going to say, what is the tension? Well, the only way to actually describe it is when you're cutting a length of timber down the grain, and the timber sort of pulls in on the grain and tightens up on the saw. And that's what this actually does. It's incredible to think that there is tension, and the porcelain will bend or force, the forces are pulling in one direction. So for example, if I was to cut from this end now right the way through to this corner, from here to this corner here, what would happen? The tension and the forces will possibly make this porcelain break here. Now, we want this piece, so the idea is that what we do, we cut from the corner out, okay? If we cut from the corner out, what will happen is the strength is in this shoulder on this bit. So we cut from there to this point, and from that corner to this point here. But the first cuts that we need to do is along this part here, okay? So that when we do finally cut through, okay? When we finally cut through and get to that point, it's going to be a nice clean cut, and this is holding the whole length in place because we haven't cut through this. If we were to cut from this end going into here, as I said, it would break on that part here. So the proof is in the pudding, and I'm going to get on with it now. So what we're going to do now, as I said before, we're going to cut through on this cut here. I know which side of the line I have to cut. And when you're cutting porcelain, of course, that it's very unforgiving. We're talking millimeters that actually show up. Half a mil can actually show up. And it is, you can see to the eye that if it's not right and it doesn't look right, you just got to clean it up and start again. So let's cut through this now. So you would have noticed then that I went through on several passes, and the reason for this is that that blade is getting towards the end of its life. Can I change the blade? Have I got a new blade? Yes, I have. But I need, these blades are not the cheapest of things to actually buy, but we need to maximize as much as we can and life out of these blades. So what we got here is now I'm going to cut from the corner to the cut I've put on this side. Cutting from the shoulder, let me just show you here. From the shoulder, that's the strength. So we cut from that corner to this point here, and that hopefully it won't break at this point here. You also got to remember is that when you're using these saws on such a regular basis, is that you will have fragments of waste or porcelain underneath the saw, underneath the slab itself. So you've got to make sure that it's cleaned off and you square everything up as much as possible to ensure that you get a good cut. done is I've cut all the way through at this point here, roughly about this far as the blade, and I can see light through the other side there. Now I'm going to start from this side before I go all the way through. So I'm going to cut through here, the same sort of incision I've done there, I'm going to do on this side now. Make sure the blade is lined up with my pencil mark I have on there before we start cutting, and turn the water on because we're going to lose our pencil line otherwise. We've made our cut through here now, we've made our cut through there. Now what we've got to do, it seems as if it's a lot of work, but it will be worth it. We turn it over now, and we can just see on both sides where we've actually cut through there and there. Now with a grinder, a 4-inch grinder, we're going to cut through from this side, not the saw, because we don't want a deep cut, we want a smaller cut on this side.